4 people are sitting around the table.
See, in this world, there's 2 kinds of people, my friend.
Suddenly, a bomb goes off.
Those with loaded guns.
Now take the same scene and tell the audience there is a bomb under that table.
No, you dig.
So the whole emotion of the audience is totally different.
You dig.
As we know, we've been on a crappy movie binge for the past couple of episodes. So, for this episode, I picked a movie that I didn't think we would hate, but was still crappy. So I picked Winnie-the-Pooh, Blood and Honey. It has a 3% on Rotten Tomatoes, the lowest score I've ever seen. That being said, there's probably lower scores, but this is bad.
Did you know that this movie was gonna be bad when you picked it?
Yes. Yeah. I knew it was not going to be good. I haven't seen any clips or anything. I came in spoiler free. Mm-hmm. I just heard bad reviews, saw it had a 3%, and said, you know what? That's what I want to watch. I want to watch a terrible horror movie. And that's what I got.
And you picked this because I'm doing the Austin Powers thing.
Yeah,
right?
That being said, as bad as this was, I would rather watch this than Austin Powers.
Are you serious? Why would that's
not because it's a better movie. It is a worse movie in every capacity.
You just hate Austin Powers.
If someone sat me down and said, you have to watch Winnie-the-Pooh or Austin Powers, I'd pick Winnie-the-Pooh. The acting's terrible.
What, in Austin Powers or Winnie-the-Pooh?
Development. Oh, Winnie-the-Pooh.
Oh.
Acting's terrible. Story development's terrible. It's a bad movie. That being said, I just don't like Austin Powers. So.
Okay. I thought maybe you picked a movie that looks bad but maybe would turn out to be good because, for the podcast, there have been a few movies that you've picked that I thought I'm not going to like, but then I ended up loving. So I thought maybe Evan's onto something.
No.
But yeah, I was let down a lot.
I'm surprised you had high hopes. That's great.
I was optimistic. I didn't want to completely trash this movie without even,
I was optimistic too. I came in with an open mind. But it took less than 10 minutes for my open mind to be shut down.
The cover image looks very, very high quality. It looks like a well-produced movie.
Really?
Just based off the cover. Yeah, it looks good quality, good like photo editing and blurry background effects. And yeah, it looks all right. But yeah, this movie to me, it seemed like a feature-length student film with
Absolutely.
A good budget.
Yes.
Because, they had a few actors. I'm hoping to God these actors got paid. They had like a pretty good wardrobe design. They had costumes. I think that the Winnie-the-Pooh mask was probably made from scratch. I think it might be an original mask. And there was like a lot of practical effects. They used a lot of practical blood. They used like on-set fake blood. You could just tell. And there was a fucking explosion. That had to cost some amount of money. Yeah. I did not expect that. So
they exploded a car, which was crazy.
This movie had
I was like, oh,
a budget. It wasn't like a big Hollywood budget, but they had something.
So it wasn't enough to travel because they tried to film it like it was a movie taking place in America, but it was obviously not taking place in America, and everyone had a British accent, and the cars had the steering wheel on the wrong side of the road.
They could have fixed that easily by just flipping the image.
the craziest thing, dude, is when they spoiler when they pull out the gun. I'm like, how the hell did they get? Because this doesn't need to take place in America. If they just didn't have the gun, which, by the way, the gun that provides nothing for the story is not used in any capacity, right?
So the thing with the gun is that the main character, Maria, has a stalker. And they go out to this place, and she's like, oh my God, I have my gun for self-defense. And she pulls out this fucking massive cannon for self-defense?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Yes. So, now I'm getting into what the gun is. The you're so frozen. Okay. Anyway,
am I back?
Now I'm getting into what the getting into what the gun is. Yes, you're back. Like, this totally could have just been European Winnie-the-Pooh, right?
Mm-hmm.
But they brought out the gun, and I was like, there's no way they're getting that in the UK. You know, that's just not happening.
Yeah, she should have pulled out a sword. This is obviously
trying to take place in America. But yes, also she has a gun for self-defense, and it's basically a Rick Grimes revolver.
Yeah. Yeah. Which also later on gets jammed. I don't think revolvers get jammed.
I made a note about that.
I'm like, I don't know too much about guns, but I don't think that can happen with a revolver.
Yeah, I said the same fucking thing. Wait.
Either it got jammed or they only had one bullet. And the gun didn't work at one point.
Yeah. I made a note about it because I was like, when it jammed, I was like, that's crazy. Revolvers almost never jam. It's almost impossible. So, yeah, I made that same note. I think it's hilarious she picked up on that. Dude, it's those British people. They know nothing about guns. So.
Dude, those damn Brits. So I didn't love this movie. Honestly, this movie made me laugh more than it made me scared. So I would give this movie a rating of like 3, because as a horror movie, I don't think it was great, but it also wasn't the worst horror movie. Like, if you showed that to a kid, I think the kid would get scared. But I think since we're older and we also know a little bit about like how movies are made, we just like looked. We saw through the fakeness. But yeah, I'd give it a 3. But it was also entertaining because I did laugh. I did enjoy myself watching this movie, just for the wrong reasons. So I'd give it a 3.
I give it a 4.
Oh, a 4.
Yeah, I would not go any higher than that.
How many notes did you put down? I got 32, which was more than I thought I was going to write.
I don't label it. I won't listen.
Oh my god! So you just put 1, then enter, and it'll automatically number it for you. Honestly, I tried to write down more notes.
How many notes did you have?
32.
I have 32 notes.
So I tried to write more notes, but honestly, I didn't want to write down like every little detail that happened. So I just wrote like the basic overview things. I started with the opening animation. It kind of gives like a backstory to what's happening, which honestly, I think the animation was really cool. It was like good quality animation. But it gave a backstory to like Christopher Robin as a kid growing up in a 100-acre wood, and he had these mythical creatures with him. And then they turned a little bit.
Yeah, he fed the
cool.
creatures until he had to leave for college, and then the creatures had to fend for themselves.
Yeah, I don't remember what happened with the other characters. I know Eeyore they ate.
They ate Eeyore. The other 2 characters were just not in the film. I'm assuming. Hopefully, they're in the second one because there is a second one.
Did you see what happened at the end of the credits?
No.
It said that they will return.
Oh, yeah, there's a second movie already.
Already? Fuck no. Fuck no.
Dude, all you have to say is Austin Powers 3, and then all I have to say is fucking Winnie-the-Pooh 2.
We've gone through the first two. We've got one more to finish the trilogy, Evan.
Dude,
I got. And you already bought it on Apple TV. You already bought the third one. Why are we gonna let your money go to waste? No.
Dude, I'm already gonna buy the second Winnie-the-Poohs.
Are you, dude? I've been going through your library. You buy so many movies. You like every time I log in, there's more shit. I'm like, holy fuck! Why does dude? Even Sabrina, she's watching a show on Apple TV, and she sees all the fucking shit you buy, and she's like, oh my god, it's a lot.
Well, dude, they have good deals.
Are you actually getting like discounts on these?
Yeah, I buy stuff when it goes on discount. I don't.
Okay.
Most of the time, there are like movies that I want to watch that I will pay full price for.
I'm thinking you're buying all these at full price.
No, like the Mission Impossible movies.
I just seen. Did you put those on?
It was like all 6 Mission Impossibles for like $30. I was like $5 a movie for like 6 good movies.
The new Mission Impossible is coming out. Are you gonna watch that in theaters?
I've literally have seen none of them. So.
Oh my god, Evan! I've also never seen a single Mission Impossible. That's why when I
bought them all.
When I seen that you got them, I was so excited because the new one's about to come out in theaters. I'm like, oh shit! Mission Impossible Marathon. Evan just bought all of them. I'm gonna watch them all. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Then the new one in theaters. I'm gonna go watch it. Oh, dude, it's great. You made me so excited. Anyway, back to Winnie the Pooh. So the movie opens with that animation. Then after the animation, it's like present day, and Christopher Walken is grown up now. He's not fully an adult. He's like a college student. He's a young adult.
But he has a fiance.
Yeah, he does. I thought it was his girlfriend, but then later on he's like, my wife. I'm like, oh, okay. So he's bringing his wife to the 100-acre wood because he told her about his childhood fucking little weird friends in the woods. She doesn't
believe him. Yep.
But he's bringing her.
Which
there.
Obviously, why would you?
So he brings her to these woods, and they find their little area where they used to play. And Winnie the Pooh shows up, and they try to be quiet, and they try to sneak out, but then Piglet finds her, and this is the first death of the movie, which honestly was more funny to me because Piglet is choking and murdering this man's wife right in front of him with a chain.
He's doing nothing. He's
standing
nothing.
right. He's just like
standing.
No, like you're like 2 feet away. You could do something.
He
just stands there and
chokes her out for
screams.
like 30 seconds. yeah.
Dude, it was bad. It was so bad.
I wrote Christopher barely tries to save her and she dies.
Yeah. And the acting, my next note is just about the acting. It's kind of stale. The dialogue is also pretty stale. That's why it just screams student film.
The writing department is really hurting.
It might have been one guy. I haven't seen the credits, but I think the writer might have been the director, and it might have been the cameraman, it might have been the editor.
They should pump a little bit more budget into the writing department.
Also, when the opening the title card comes in, that kind of seemed like the end of the movie, because like the little animation backstory explained the start of it. Then it's like present day, and then someone dies, and then Winnie the Pooh and Piglet are like ganging up on Christopher. Then it cuts to the title screen. Then the credits happen. It seemed
Dude,
like
maybe-
that was the movie.
Here's a theory. Maybe it was a short film, like a student project short film, and they just kept rolling with it after they submitted their project.
They shouldn't have. Like after the opening credits is like we're introduced to new people. Like who is this? Like why? Like
Well, that's the
Christopher
main-
Robin
that's
is the main
girl.
character.
Also, I hate how none of them have names.
Maria, what are you talking about? Her name is Maria.
I picked up on almost none of the names of the 6 girl. There were 6, right? Yes, the 6 girls.
There's Zoe,
I picked up on almost none of their names.
Maria.
I
think that's it. There's
there-
Christopher.
The girl that dies real early. There's like the Instagram hoe. There's lesbian 1 and 2, and then there's main character and main character's best friend.
I wrote a note later on about. We'll get to it when we get to it, but it was about lesbians.
Okay. I don't know what you want me to say about that.
Just say ha ha ha, so funny. So we're introduced to Maria, and this is now seemingly the main character instead of Christopher fucking Robin himself. Okay, Maria, whatever. And she apparently has this stalker man who's been
She does.
creeping.
I would
on
say
her.
it's honestly more than a stalker.
Yeah, it's bad.
It's
'Cause-
like it's the highest level of stalker I think you could probably get to before it turns into like sexual assault or a murderer. You know,
Because this man has been looking into her windows, then literally breaks into her house
breaking into your house.
to try to undress her in her sleep.
Yeah.
So yeah, she's got a little bit of an extra spicy stalker.
Dude, honestly, if I was her, I'd be whipping around the 44 Magnum as well.
Now it makes sense. There we go. And she very understandably goes to therapy because there's this old creepy man
Yeah.
trying to undress her in her sleep. Fuck.
Yeah, breaking into your house while you're sleeping. Yeah, dude, I would say a normal person would need therapy for that.
And her therapist tells her, you just need to get away. Just go relax somewhere. So she takes that advice and
Yeah.
goes to like this house in
The 100
woods.
Acre Woods. She goes,
Yeah.
The Airbnb with her friends.
And all her stupid friends go with her. And when they get there, they all put their phones like in a box.
Yeah, to get away from the outside world.
Yeah, to get rid of all
But
distractions.
the crazy thing is there's a 6th friend that's running late.
Yeah.
And she gets lost and she tries to call them. But none of them have their phones. So what does she fucking do?
Well,
She parks her car and then she
leaves
she's
her
like
car.
wandering. She's just wandering through the woods.
Yeah, that honestly, every decision that these characters have made in this movie is just the perfect recipe for like a classic horror movie. You can see everything coming from a fucking mile away. It's just like I don't want to say that there was no effort put into it, but they took every cliche, every stereotypical thing from a horror movie and just put it into this.
Let's see. So she's wandering through the woods. Pooh finds her. She gets, dude. I saw this coming from a mile away. She gets chased by Pooh, and she hides in like this old like wood processing shop, and she hides right next to the wood chipper. And I was like, oh, okay, well that's how she's gonna die. She's gonna get thrown in the wood chipper because she's hiding right next to the wood chipper. And then, dude, suddenly Pooh Pooh pulls the fucking Uno reverse card, pretends not to see her, walks away, and then pops up behind her, throws her in the wood chipper.
I don't know if you picked up on this, but so when this chick is by the wood chipper, Pooh kills her, puts her into the wood chipper, but also as he's killing her, he rips her shirt off, and she's got her titties out. And there's another moment where this was when, like, during the flashback where Maria's describing, like, the stalker, she comes out in her panties, like in her little, like, nightgown dress thing, whatever. She's in her panties. I feel like those two moments have nothing to serve the story. Like, her being in her panties does nothing to the story. The fucking wood chipper girl getting her titties out does nothing to the story. She could have died with her shirt on. I feel like the director's kind of a pervert. And there was another moment. I can't remember. I think it was also some underwear or something. But I don't know. Whoever made this movie got an almost complete cast of women and got one of them with their titties out. All the fucking Instagram model, whatever. She's all fucking whored out and fucking sexy, and I don't know. I feel like the director.
But that kind of plays to the character.
Yeah.
That kind of plays to the character. Like, that character's supposed to be like that.
Yeah. I don't know. I just feel like there were some decisions made just.
I do think
women.
the first kill with the nudity was uncalled for. It could have happened either other way. I think it just happened so that they could have that in the movie.
Yeah.
But
yeah, this chick died in a wood chipper.
So then we've already explained this, and there's like a flashback. We find out that the main girl, she's being stalked by an old dude. She feels constantly in danger, and then she's like explaining this to her friends because her friends are like, "Why the hell did you drag me out here?"
Yeah.
And then I've wrote the note. Honestly, pretty normal reaction to having a stalker break into your bedroom while you're sleeping. Let's see, dude. I've wrote a note because it's like it's another scene, kind of useless, but I wrote down Pooh powers his home with exercise bikes. Kind of silly.
Yeah, and there's no way that this dude is cycling all night.
That's where the other two characters are, Tigger and the rabbit. They're just constantly cycling on that.
Yeah, they're just human batteries.
Then we find out that Pooh has kept Christopher alive.
And he's like helping.
I don't know if you picked this up. When he's whipping Christopher, he's whipping him with Eeyore's tail.
Oh, that's Eeyore's tail? I thought, because there was a body in there of a girl. I thought that was like her ponytail.
No, that's definitely Eeyore's tail. It has to be.
And then I was thinking that chick that was in there, like hung up all fucking eaten away, I thought that was his wife. And I thought he was whipping Christopher with his dead wife's hair.
That would also be pretty brutal. I'll take either.
But then she didn't have
option.
She didn't have long hair, so I'm like, that's probably just some random. I don't know. But Eeyore's tail, yeah, that makes more sense.
Then it cuts to Pooh walking outside, and he hears pop music coming from the Airbnb, and he goes to investigate.
Yeah.
And then there's the TikTok, Instagram hoe outside in the hot tub taking pictures of herself. And she's taking pictures of herself. She's looking at the pictures, and she notices Pooh is in the background of one of the pictures. So she looks around for like 10 seconds and then gives up and says, "You know what, whatever. I'll just go back to chilling in the hot tub."
Yeah. At that point, why wouldn't you just go inside and lock the door?
Just go.
Nah, I'm going to stay outside. Fuck it. Like, and she thinks it's the stalker. Okay, you have a photo of what you think is the stalker who has broken into your friend's house and tried to undress her in her sleep, and you're just going to just brush it over your shoulder?
She's like, "Nah, homie. I'm busy chilling in the hot tub.
Also, at the start of the movie, when Christopher Walken is describing to his wife, like I had all these friends, these little animal friends in the woods, and his wife didn't believe him because he didn't have any evidence. But now this hot tub chick, I think she's the only person who now has photographic evidence of Pooh. I think that's the first and only photo that there is of Winnie the Pooh.
Probably.
Yeah.
But she gets run over. Winnie the Pooh breaks out the chloroform rag.
Yeah. How do they get chloroform? How do they know chloroform? Also, how does Winnie the Pooh know how to drive? How does that?
Yeah, it just has to be. I think it's supposed to be like one of their cars, right? One of the girls' cars. I don't think it's Winnie the Pooh's car. But I think it's more funny if Winnie the Pooh owns like an early 2010s BMW. Anyways, they hog tie her in the middle of the road, and then Pooh slowly runs over her face. It's just ridiculous. And the other girls, in fact, hear her scream. They didn't hear the BMW start.
No, but they heard.
Or the girl like crying for her life out in the middle of the driveway that's like 10 feet away from the door. But they did hear her scream when she got run over.
You know, something that this movie reminded me of, not completely, but it gave me the same thoughts as this other movie, Terrifier. I feel like in Terrifier...
Hey, no. You can't talk bad about Terrifier. Because that's a good movie.
I think Terrifier has mindless killing. And that's kind of the same vibe I got for Winnie the Pooh.
But like, with a comedic twist.
Because
that's why Terrifier's so good.
Because I can understand why Winnie the Pooh would have a reason to kill Christopher Robin. Because Christopher Robin left as a kid and never came back after saying he would. So he has a personal reason to want to kill Christopher Robin. But... he doesn't really have a reason to kill all these random girls.
If you listen to the animated intro, it clearly explains that Winnie the Pooh now hates all humans.
Yeah, because of Christopher Robin, but I think that's a dumbass reason. One person did you wrong. Now you hate everyone? Of the same species? Just for being the same species? So... I did find a little connection with Terrifier and Winnie the Pooh. But honestly, I do think Winnie the Pooh has more of a reason to kill these random people. In Terrifier, there's literally just no reason at all.
No, he's a crazy clown.
Yeah. So...
the other girls, after she's run over, they find her body. And then they notice a message written on the window that says to get out.
Yeah.
And I wrote, instead of just leaving like the message says, they wonder what they should do. And then Pooh starts looking for him outside. And like, how does Pooh, like, I don't know why Pooh's looking for him outside. Like, obviously he knows these people are inside. Like, he wrote it on the window.
Also, Winnie the Pooh doesn't speak. He doesn't really have the ability to speak. But how does he know how to write in English?
Well, he used to know how to speak. Remember, they took a vow of silence after they ate Eeyore.
You know, I didn't really pay attention to the whole beginning part. So then they're in the house. Pooh is after them. And they kind of split up. The two lesbians go one way. The other two girls go another way. And...
the main girl has a gun.
Yeah, the main girl just out of nowhere says, "Oh my God, I remember this gun that I have." And they go into her purse, and she pulls out literally a fucking cannon this fucking big. And now they have a weapon, an actual good weapon. Winnie the Pooh has more like melee stuff, but okay. The main chick has a gun. And there's a moment where they're hiding behind like the railing of the stairs, and Winnie the Pooh is right in front of them. And she's holding a massive gun.
Yeah,
and she doesn't shoot.
So many opportunities for them to shoot,
Dude.
but they don't know.
pissed
They
me
don't know
off.
how to shoot because they're British.
Oh my
Okay, we gotta give them a break.
Then the two lesbians are in the pool area.
Yeah, Piglet finds them.
That was the slowest, dumbest death. Because one lesbian falls down, hits her head, she's out for a little bit. The other one is like running around the pool, and Piglet's like trying to get her. She falls into the pool. Piglet also gets into the pool, but he slowly walks into the pool.
The crazy thing is both of the protagonists in this movie are not fast.
They're so fucking slow.
They're slow. Like, you could outpace them with a jog.
You could live just by running. Just run.
Yeah.
Don't
you
even
could
get in
run.
the car and drive. Just run.
If, that being said, if we factor in Winnie-the-Pooh's magical bee powers, then maybe. Then maybe not.
So Piglet slowly walks into the pool, slowly walks to this girl who's fucking flipping around like a fish out of water.
Yeah,
And he
instead
just-
of just climbing out of the pool, she just sits there in the deep end waiting
Yeah.
to die.
He smacks her a couple times with the hammer, and she's done. Then what the fuck happens after that?
They take the other girl that
Oh,
they
yeah.
knocked out.
They like kidnap her.
Mm-hmm.
And then the girls that are now the last ones alive, they go after her to save her.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, this is where it's kind of starting to blur for me.
Okay, I have some notes. So after that, they take the other girl that's passed out. Winnie-the-Pooh and Piglet, they take her. That girl wakes up, and she's like tied up at Winnie-the-Pooh's house. And Pooh's sitting there eating honey.
Yeah.
and then Winnie-the-Pooh sees that she's woken up and like stands over her and like drips honey onto her face. And then he smacks her. He smacks her like 5 times.
Yeah, he smacks the shit out of her.
Which is nothing to frown about, because Winnie the Pooh is capable of smacking someone's face off with one smack,
Yes.
as we learn later in the movie. So this girl is made of steel to withstand that many smacks by Winnie the Pooh. Then the two main girls, they find the tied up girl, and then they hear like some random girl scream, like out in the woods. So they're like, oh, you know what? We should stay here and we'll look for these other people. They find Christopher, and then they find the random girl. For some reason, they give the random girl the gun,
Yeah, that was dumb.
which is crazy. The random girl provides some lore information. I forget what but I don't know. I forget what the lore was, but she provides a quick lore drop, and then the beat up girl, the new girl, goes on the hunt with the gun for Piglet instead of. So they find Piglet, and they're like dancing around like this fire pit, right? Like there's the girl on one side of the fire pit and Piglet on the other, and they're walking around in circles. And instead of just using the gun to shoot Piglet, they just keep going around in circles. And then she tries to fire the gun, but it jams. Crap. I forgot how she dies. Oh, no, they get her. I wrote down Pooh covers her face in honey, and then Piglet eats her face.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is what happens. Oh, you know what? Pooh sneaks up behind her. That's what happens.
Then one of the lesbians. Oh. No, I'm messing with the order. One of the lesbians finds Piglet and chains up Piglet and starts torturing Piglet. And I wrote,
Yep.
I never thought that I would see in a horror movie Piglet from Winnie the Pooh gets tortured and chained up by a lesbian.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So once again, these 3 girls, the 3 remaining main girls, they split up. With the one girl beating up Piglet and the other 2 running away. So like you're saying, Pooh's chasing the other two main girls, and then the third girl that's torturing Piglet actually kills Piglet, and Pooh hears Piglet die, and somehow like his mega speed is activated.
Did you?
And he instantly teleports to this girl and then kills her.
Did you notice the way he killed her? At least to me, seemed like a little nod to Michael Myers. Did you pick up on that?
Yes,
because in the first Michael Myers movie, Michael Myers kills the kid with the glasses by pinning him to a wall with a knife.
I agree.
Something like that happened in Winnie-the-Pooh, but it was just through her face. But she was pinned up onto a thing with a knife through her. I was like, oh, Michael Myers.
I think it was like a homage, you know. So the other two girls are still running away. Somehow Pooh even though he ran back to avenge Piglet, and then he runs all the way back to where these other girls are, he somehow catches up. But these two girls, they run into like this group of hillbillies.
And one of them's American. I think it's the guy from the early like shitty gas station, right?
Is it? It might be, yeah.
Yeah, because early when, like, before Maria gets to, like, her little Airbnb in the woods, she, like, stops to get gas. And that's where there's, like, this weird dude, and he comes out with, like, a bunch of other people. And I think that's them.
Yeah. So they hide in their truck. And the four hillbillies go to confront Pooh.
Yeah.
And they just start beating on Pooh. And Pooh just stands there and takes it for like a minute straight. And then they realize, oh, we can't hurt Pooh. And that's when Pooh really goes crazy. And he slaps a man's face off. And then he kills some other people. But one of the kills, which is creative, is one of the guys runs away. And Pooh sends his attack bees to go kill this man.
Yeah, he does like this gesture, and then these bees are just attacking this dude.
Yep.
So he's got bee powers.
He does have bee powers. The girls, then they take the truck and they run over Pooh. But Pooh hangs onto the tailgate of the truck and hops into the back of the truck after he climbs up the tailgate.
This whole sequence of Pooh hanging onto the truck in motion, you know, at first I didn't realize the truck was supposed to be driving, because the way they filmed it just seemed like somebody was shaking a parked car.
Well, that is what they did, yeah.
Yeah. I didn't. It just seemed fucking cheap, honestly. Did not love it.
Anyways, Pooh eventually gets onto the hood of the car as he climbs over, and they break. So Pooh slides forward, and they slam Pooh into a tree at like way too fast. But he lives, and he kills the last the main character's best friend. He kills that girl. Mm-hmm. He like rips her head off or something. And then he pulls the main character out of the car. And right as he's about to kill the main girl, Christopher Robin pins Pooh between his car and the girl's car, or the hillbilly's car.
And apparently kills Winnie-the-Pooh.
Apparently, yeah. Apparently kills Winnie-the-Pooh. But then suddenly... Winnie-the-Pooh escapes. He pushes the cars apart. And,
yeah, luckily the cars were in neutral. Luckily.
And then he takes the main character girl, and he's like threatening to kill her, and Christopher Robin's like begging, "No, please don't kill her. It's me you want." And then Pooh kills the main character, or the girl, and then Christopher Robin escapes.
Also, when Pooh was killing this main girl, Christopher Robin, again, was like 2 feet away, just doing nothing.
Listen.
No!
I'm going to be honest. If I just saw a man get pinned between two cars and then push them apart and not die, I'm not even going to try to interfere. I'm not saying you should stick around and watch, but I'm not going to sit there.
This
I'm not
man
gonna try and beat him up. You know?
has a habit, though. That's my point. He's got a habit of
Yeah,
being
he freezes
so.
up.
Yeah.
He freezes up.
So, Pooh kills Maria. Christopher Robin watches. And the trucks in the background explode behind Winnie-the-Pooh, making him seem like a badass.
Mm-hmm.
And then, I forget what happens to Christopher Robin.
He escapes.
Oh, yeah, and Winnie-the-Pooh is left killing the girl. He's just fucking stabbing her.
Yeah.
And then movie's over.
Movie's over.
Pooh never died. Christopher survived. I was kind of hoping that Maria lived, the main chick. Because, like, she's been dealt a shitty hand in life, you know?
Wow.
She's just trying to live at home. She's getting stalked by a dude. She's getting her house broken into. She's getting undressed in her sleep. Then she's getting chased through the woods by murderous pig creatures.
Mm-hmm.
Then gets murdered. You know, the end of her life was not so great. So I was kind of hoping that she would have had a little happy ending, but no.
It went downhill fast.
Yeah.
But I'm excited. I'm excited to see Christopher Robin return. In too.
I wish I never picked Austin Powers. I regret it all, honestly. You've picked The Lighthouse, Winnie-the-Pooh. I am really scared for what you're gonna pick next, and I quit the podcast. This is the last one. We're done.
That's crazy.
So do you know the reason why this movie even exists?
Yeah, it's because they made this like almost instantly after the copyright for Winnie-the-Pooh dropped.
Yeah. The idea for the character Winnie-the-Pooh is now in public domain, which means anybody can do anything with the idea of Winnie-the-Pooh. And I was thinking something that would have made this movie... This movie is rated R, right? Because there's blood, gore, nudity, violence. This movie is rated R. Something that I think would have made this movie a little bit more disturbing is if they stuck a little... If they kept the source material, more original, if they had Winnie-the-Pooh only wear a shirt, no pants, dick out, have that thing come and chase you to murder you, that's a different level of horror, dude.
Yeah, I think you're
mutated, half human, half bear, dick out, coming for you. Yeah, that's what I want to see. So.
Let's look up some stats here really quick. Budget $100,000.
Holy shit! $100,000?
$100,000.
That's more than I thought that this movie would have had. That's a very good budget, especially for a movie like this. $100,000. Damn. All right.
Guess their box office.
This thing was in theaters?
Guess their box office.
Are you... Dude, I'm fucking surprised that this thing made it onto a fucking movie screen. I thought this was just like a digital release.
Guess their box office.
Box office?
Listen, there's a reason they made a second one. If that gives you any...
All right. Wait. Was this a nationwide theatrical release? Because, okay... There are movies that have had theatrical releases, but only in select theaters.
Release dates.
Because if this thing was released everywhere,
it might only be. Let's see.
I mean, because honestly, if I'm being honest, that little short film I made, Delusion, that had a theatrical release, but it only was in one theater.
Okay, listen to some of these stats. Because film was shot in 10 days.
Wow.
Shot in 10 days.
Dude, they were busy.
Originally set for a nationwide
Nationwide?
UK
Oh, okay.
one night event, but a spike in online popularity expanded it to a major worldwide
Oh
theatrical
my
release.
fucking god.
It premiered in Mexico in 2023, United States in 2023, and the UK in 2023.
Holy shit. All right, so my guess for their box office earnings, $800,000. That's what I think they earned.
You think they made 8 times their budget?
Yes.
Okay. Their box office was 7.7 million.
Oh my fucking god. $7 million?
7 million for 10 days of time.
This thing is a success, Evan.
Yeah, there's a reason they made
What
the
the
second
fuck?
one.
But it's so bad. Why is it? What? What? What the? Okay, I'm speechless, Evan. I'm speechless. This is crazy. I don't know what to say.
My gosh. Okay, would you like to hear it won a few awards. Would you like to hear the 5 awards it won?
Don't tell me it won a fucking Oscar.
It won 5 awards. None of them were Oscar.
Oh, okay. All right.
These were
kill myself if they won an Oscar.
part of the Golden Raspberry Awards in
I've
2024.
never heard of that in my life.
They won Worst Picture, Worst
Are you
Director,
serious? What?
Worst Screenplay,
That's
Worst Screen Couple, Worst Prequel, Remake, Ripoff, or Sequel.
Wait, worst screen couple. Are they talking about the lesbians? Or Christopher Robin's wife? Because Christopher and Maria.
They're talking
don't
about
get together.
Pooh and Piglet as a couple.
Okay. All right. Did not see that coming.
Okay. So, for the second movie, I won't read the plot or anything.
No. I want to go in blind.
So we know how bad the first movie was, right? Second movie, budget of $500,000.
Are you serious? That's it? The
Yeah.
first one cost $100,000 to make, earned $7 million, and they only got 4 more.
Yeah.
4 more hundred. They should have gotten
Budget.
at least $1 million for
Guess
the
what
next
their box
budget.
office was?
For the next one?
Mm-hmm.
No, I don't tell me. Don't tell me. Don't tell me. I don't want to know.
You don't
yet.
want to know what their
I
box
want to
office
watch the
was?
movie first, and then I want to know all this. Don't tell. I really don't want to know. I don't know.
Okay.
I hate that now. I want to see the second one. I didn't, dude.
Let's see. I will look at the Rotten Tomatoes for it.
Okay, I'll do that. That's fine.
Let's see. Oh, scored significantly higher.
What was the Rotten Tomato score for the first Winnie-the-Pooh?
Let's see. Because I only saw like the tomato meter, not like the popcorn meter, right?
What is the difference? Is popcorn meter like theatrical ratings and tomato meters like
Tomato meter is, I want to say like the more reviewer meter, and the popcorn meter is like the
So tomatoes like critics and stuff?
tomatoes critic consensus, and then popcorn is audience consensus.
I think I would trust an audience score more.
So the first one, 3% tomato meter,
Okay.
49% popcorn meter.
Okay.
The second
Damn, those
one,
critics are harsh.
yeah. Second one, 47% tomato meter,
Oh, wow.
74% popcorn meter. So we might be looking at a.
Dude, that sounds like improvement.
We might be looking at a comeback.
I need Tigger. I want Tigger. I want her.
need more of the animals as well, dude. If they don't bring them in the second movie, I will rate it worse than the first one.
If there's no Tigger, it's going to be a 0. It's going to be a 0 for me, honestly. I want to know their interpretation of a bouncing tiger. That's what I want to know.
Dude, if they don't take Pooh's pants off, it's a 0.
Dude, yeah, come on. Come on. There's source material. You got to stick with it. Take his pants off. I need a bouncing tiger and a pantsless Pooh. That's what I need. All right. So we're almost done with the Austin Powers trilogy. We've watched the first one, The International Man of Mystery. The second one, The Spy Who Shagged Me. And for my next movie pick, I'm going to pick Austin Powers 3, Gold Member. That's our next pick. And it's the last one. I didn't think we would watch the trilogy, but you bought all 3 of them, so
maybe this one will be better. I've seen Goldfinger, so
then maybe you'll understand more of the little inside jokes.
Maybe I'll understand a little bit more. But see, Goldfinger has the dude with the hat that you throw the hat.
Oh, really?
And they already took that dude for the for the first Austin Powers movie. So I don't know.
So that's my pick for the next movie, Austin Powers 3.
Okay.
This is going to be the first trilogy that we're completing together. So I feel bad, but I also don't, because these are good movies, and I feel bad that you don't like them. But
I know an amazing trilogy that you will love. So.
I mean, I enjoy watching movies that I've never seen before, so that's why this is so fun. But I hate watching bad movies. I think the worst movie is probably The Godfather. The Lighthouse comes second.
That's so crazy. But okay.
It's just, dude, I was just bored out of my mind. And you know what's even crazier? I want to show you this.
I kind of want to make you watch Space Odyssey.
I have the Godfather PlayStation 2 video game, and I've seen gameplay of this, and this seems like a Grand Theft Auto type game. It's an open world 3D game where you can do crime. And I think I haven't played this yet, but I think I'm going to enjoy the video game more than the movie.
Have you seen 2001: A Space Odyssey?
No, but I've always wanted to.
If you hate The Godfather, I feel like you would you're gonna hate that movie.
Well, the only reason I think I would enjoy 2001 is because it was made by Stanley Kubrick, and he has made one of my other favorite movies, The Shining. That's the only reason why I think I might like it.
Okay.
Because I like The Shining a lot.
The Shining is a really good movie.
Shining is a masterpiece. It's love it. It's great. All right. Well, I think that concludes this episode. So my pick for the next movie is Austin Powers 3. That's it.
Okay.
Well, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. And that's it. Bye.